the go button on recording up here, we are now live from what I can tell. I'm just going to do a quick little double check on that, make sure the audio is coming through. I see now live. I hear my voice, so it looks like the audio is working. We are here. We're live in the Creative Crypto Tips group. So what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Creative Crypto Show. I am happy to be here. It's been a few days since we have chatted last. Let me pull this other window up so I can see if anybody else hops on. Okay, so we're gonna dive right in. Welcome to the Creative Crypto Show. We've got a cool show for you, some good content to talk about today. Just to kind of get caught back up on what's going on. We're not gonna cover everything because I do still wanna try to keep the show approximately around the 30 minutes or less mark. But what we're gonna cover for today is the disastrous things that are going on with EOS in the headlines. We're going to talk about crypto fantasy sports, and we're going to give away some free Litecoin. We'll talk about what's going on in the world, do the regular market updates for gold, silver, and crypto. All of that goodness is scheduled on the agenda for today for this show. So welcome. Thank you so much for those of you watching this. If you're catching this live inside of the Facebook group, go ahead and type in, leave me a comment, hashtag live, let me know that you're here. If you're watching the replay, type in hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know who is engaged. Let me know that you watch this. If you're watching this on YouTube and you'd like to come join us in the Facebook group, you can do so. Just simply click the link down in the YouTube description, and that will bring you here. And so, yeah. That's it. Oh yeah, by the way, if you're watching this in the group, once you're in the group, if you want to actually join this live Zoom call and actually talk to me face to face or share good news or kind of chime in and be on the show, you can do that. The Zoom link to join is also right above the live stream here in the Facebook group. So, all right, all the recordings are going. The intro is done, so let's get into the show. It's time to rock and roll here. So. All right, we start every show with some good news, just like every other episode. So my good news for today is that I just got back from a trip down to Florida. It was a very productive trip for me. It was a nice little getaway, and I got a lot of good work done while I was there. This morning has also been productive for me. Today, I've already got it set up. I got it planned out, and I can just feel. You know how you just feel that some days are going to be far more productive than others. That's me this morning. I didn't get a lot of sleep because I went to bed late and got up early, but I just feel productivity today. I know it's going to happen. So that's my good news for today. I'm in the productive spirit. So that being said, let's share the screen here, and I will dive into today's market report. I need to move this out of the way first. Oh, where's my other? Give me 1 second. I'm coming. All right, so I'm back. Give me just 1 second. I got to pull up my other notes here that I should have had them already laid out, but I did not, forgive me. So let me just pull them up here on my other computer. Give me one moment. Boom, and boom, got it. Close these other notifications. Okay, just like that, back in bit. Whoa, I'm getting bombarded with notifications on this other computer. Hang on momentarily. Wait, close. All right. And then there we go. Okay, so now I'm back. Now I got my notes. I'm ready to go. I can actually screen share. So let me close this one. Let me reset the screen share. Thanks for your patience, guys. No, I don't want to stop the live stream. I want to share my screen. Google Chrome, Share screen. Boom. All right, now you guys should be able to see my screen. And let's kick things off. So where am I at? All right, we're going to start right here with the coinmarketcap.com. We're going to check what's going on in the crypto market. So first thing we look at is the market cap. Today we're sitting at 289 billion. That's actually up from the last show. We were at 275 billion. 24-hour volume is down just a little bit from normal. It's 13 billion. I think that's the lowest I've seen it in quite some time, actually. It's usually at least 15. Between that 15 and 25 range is kind of the little channel that I've seen it in. But we're at 13 billion today for the last 24 hours. So a little bit of a slow last 24 hours, at least on the exchanges. There is still a lot of money going into crypto in the over-the-counter market, peer-to-peer, that's not ran through the exchanges, thus not reported in this market cap. So just keep that in mind. Total number of cryptocurrencies on this website, 1,601. Looks like they've cleaned house. Some of them have went away because last time we reported on that, it was 1,628. So it looks like 27 of them guys have been taken off the site. Bitcoin dominance, 40%, flat 40%. That's same as it was last time we did the show. And so let's just kind of take a look at the change 24-hour period here. Notice there's a lot of red still. Couple of greens trickled in. Ethereum Classic. We got Ethereum in the green. Lots of red though. Lots and lots of red here. So let's just see the biggest winners, biggest gainers for the last 24 hours. We notice there's like maybe a dozen and a half coins on this site that are in the green for today. The rest of them are in the red. So this is what I would consider to be a red day. We've had several red days in a row now. So the biggest gainer is IOST. No idea what that is. Huobi token up 6.78%. Immercoin, Decentraland. Yeah, I don't know any of these. Ethereum Classic is up. Dentacoin is up. Redcoin is up. Syscoin is up. Ethereum is up barely. So that's what's going on with the up. Let's check the other side of it. Vertasium is down. The largest decrease in 24 hours, Vertasium. Vertasium is sitting at $58 right now. This is me screaming at you saying this is a crazy good deal. I will be buying more Vertasium immediately. I have not, I mean, anything below, anything below 100 is an amazing deal with this. Vertasium, I follow this coin quite closely. The guy behind it and the news that's coming out, he just got regulatory approval for his application, the submission. He's very much in compliance and working with the regulators and the authorities. You can't buy this coin on any major exchange though. Why? Because when the banks go down, the exchanges are going to go down. When the exchanges go down, Vertasium is there as a backup plan. It's a solution to it. So yeah, of course, the exchanges, the major exchanges, this is like the coin that's likely going to replace them, and so they're not thrilled about placing Vertasium on the exchanges. So Vertasium is very difficult to get. You can only get it on some smaller exchanges, Meritox, things like that. And if you buy like $10,000 or more of it, you can change the price. You can move it up and down. There's not a lot of volume on it, and everybody that's buying is not selling. They're holding. So it's kind of difficult to get. However, this is what I'm doing. It's not investment advice. It's not, business advice, legal advice. Nothing that I say on the show is advice of any kind. It's just all my opinion. It's just me talking about what I'm doing, sharing my thoughts and the stuff that I learn as I do research. So a little bit of a side kind of tangent there, but Veri is down. Man, this is an attractive price. Like I bought Vertasium around $100, and then I bought it at 80 and said, like, I've been buying it as often as I can. To see it at 58, like you would think, oh man, that's kind of a bummer. You bought it 100 and now it's 58. No, this is exciting to me because I know it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before full regulation approval happens, and it's announced that the application is approved and that it's completely approved and by the regulators. And when that happens, there's going to be lots of corporations and entities, potentially governments or related type of big money coming into and looking to utilize and get to Vertasium. And right now, I mean, you put $10,000, you can raise the price. Imagine what's going to happen when a whole country or government or large, 8, 9, 10, 11 figure businesses come into or organizations come into this coin and try to put, money starts going in. It's going to go through the roof. That's just what's going to happen. And so this is a buy and hold for me. And I'm excited to see this price. I will be buying more very soon. First chance I get. So that's the lowest, the biggest loser for the last 24 hours. I think it's the biggest winner, kind of secretly. What else we got? Not a lot. I mean, that's the only one above double digits, above the double-digit losses for the last 24 hours. So not a bad deal. Everything's on sale right now. So the coins that you are a fan of, the coins that you like, the coins that you are accumulating, now's a good time to get some more of them. All right, so that's kind of what's going on in the crypto world. Let's actually go over to, I'm going to go to TradingView, and we're going to check out the bond market. So I'm going to go to chart, and I'm going to type in, let's look at gold first. Gold is setting at 1273. So gold is at 1273. Just hovering right around, just bouncing on that 1300 line for the last few weeks now. So let's take a look at silver. That's the wrong keyboard. If we look at silver, silver price is at 1629. It's 1629. It's down a little bit from where we looked last show. And now, last but not least, let's take a look at the bond market. BND. Those of you that are new, this is the best visual representation of the U.S. dollar. All right, the Vanguard total bond market, ticker symbol is BND. Since the U.S. dollar is U.S. debt, it is debt, and Vanguard, it is bonds, which are debt, and Vanguard is the largest holder of bonds and whatnot. So the Vanguard total bond market is a good representation of the U.S. dollar, and we see, I mean, it's just ridiculous. It is just ridiculous. So watch for this continued downward trend. This is just all buying time. Like these run-ups right here, this is hundreds of billions of dollars going into the bond market. Really think people are putting money in the U.S. dollar right now? Just look at the news. It should be obvious to you that people are like losing faith in the U.S. dollar. This is somebody clicking their mouse to buy some more time, clicking their mouse to inject hundreds of billions of dollars into the market. That's how market rigging is done. Computer manipulation. These are all EFTs or ETFs, electronic trading funds, and it's just it's funny to kind of to watch. Expect this to continue to go down. Look at this the last while. It's just it's a long trend of downwardness. All right, on the way to zero. So now that we know where that is at, let's take a look at some other stuff. What else we got going on? Okay, let's see here. All right, so world news. What's going on in the world? I want to share a few things, and we'll just kind of, actually, I can stop sharing the screen because I didn't post any links in here. So I'm just going to share, I'm just going to kind of talk to you face to face. So world news, what's going on? Well, there's a few things. In Europe, we got, so let's see, I wrote down some notes here. We got a situation going on in Europe. It's somewhat of a crisis, this type of situation. Governments like Austria, Italy, Sweden, and not just them, other governments as well. So that's what's going on, and it's being called a refugee crisis. That's the terminology that's being used, and so it's actually a Muslim invasion is kind of the story that's not really being reported, and it's no exaggeration since 60%, over 60% of roughly 5 million refugees that are who have arrived in Europe since 2013 are men. And another way to put it is an army of 3 million, that's 3 million military-aged Muslim men have invaded Europe by stealth means. All right, that's kind of what's going on. It's the bigger plan that's at play from the bad guys, and these stats are all verifiable online for many places. And it's not just a random occurrence either. They're being guided to do this. Like, it's not just happenstance. Like, they're being given false papers. For example, Afghan and Pakistani men are being given travel expenses and allowances, and sent off, as well as like fake Syria passports, and sent off into these other countries. And it's all been being done and being facilitated by some self-appointed social engineers who are kind of behind, the bad guys behind the crisis. So that's taking place right now, and that's what's kind of going on in the background. All right, now here's the other side of that. You got the new Italian government, which has just recently been, some changes had been made. I talked about those on a previous show. And they're getting into a world of wars with France, and they're stepping up and saying, you know what, we're not taking any more refugees. Like, we're done. Then we got the government of Austria, also kicking out refugees and mobilizing its border police, and taking actions and being proactive about that. So they're taking a stance. And then also Sweden, they're on board as well. They are, they've also mobilized their home guard for the first time in over 40 years. They're calling their troops, reactivating them. So their guard to deal with the lawless areas of their border and these, these different zones inside of Sweden, all right, where there is no law. Like, they're stepping up. Like, countries are taking a stand. They're saying, you know what, hey, we're not, like, we realize what's going on, no more. So that's happening. All right, so here's the results. Here's the result to watch out for, and I'll obviously, like always, tie it back into crypto and what it means for us. But the result is that this crisis that's going on is going to likely result in two regimes being overthrown. Hang on, wait. How did that happen? I don't want to go there. Hang on, I was trying to close somebody's live stream that popped up, and instead I clicked on it, and they were at a concert, it looked like, or a hop-in seminar. So that's kind of what's going on. The two, if you look at like what to expect from all this, well, France and Germany, look for regime changes. Look for leaders being replaced in the coming days from France and Germany, and all of this is kind of in coordination and right along the lines of what I've been talking about for quite some time, and that is world peace is coming. We are one step closer to having global world peace. This is a very good sign of these other governments stepping up and saying, you know what, look, we see what's going on, we're not taking it. So things are happening, things are moving forward. World peace is a big deal, because when the world gets to a state of peace, there's a lot of upside in the cryptocurrency world when that happens. All right, they are connected. Number one, just think about how much money goes into war. War is one of the most profitable things. And so when war is over, where are the games going to be played? well, the games are going to be played in the markets, and the profits are going to need to be made in the market. So lots of that money is going to be going into crypto. It's going to be going into these markets. And so just overall, as we don't know which, any specific cryptos, but just overall, as that happens, when that happens, cryptos are going to boom. So just keep that in mind. We're one step closer to world peace. So that's cool and exciting. Next on the agenda, I'm going to talk briefly about moving into a tokenized world. And I'll be talking more and more about this as we go along. And I'm sorry, I don't have the links pulled up, so I'm just kind of looking down, reading from my notes on a different computer today. But we're moving into a tokenized world, and the possibilities are crazy exciting whenever you can wrap your head around what this is going to look like. So I'll just cover one little piece of it right now. Imagine being, how there's a lot of people out there that they invest lots of time, energy, effort, and money in some cases, building up these virtual lives inside of a video game. All right. And so they spend hours and hours and days and weeks and months and years of their life building these assets inside of this virtual world. And so let's imagine that you're playing a game, any game, for the sake of this conversation. And inside of that game, you build yourself, you put some time, energy, effort into it, and you build yourself a weapon, like a bow and arrow or something, or a saw or an axe. And then, inside of that game, that thing, that return that you can get for that, there's some value there. You can trade that axe or sell that axe, or, use that axe as a weapon, or it's got value, right? But only inside of that game. Here's the world we're moving into. We're moving into a place where that type of thing, that axe, would have value, intrinsic value, outside of the game. You'd be able to trade that value because it would be done through a blockchain. It would all be built and documented and say, yeah, he did put in, Justin did put in the time, the energy and effort on this day and this time and built this axe. And so this axe is logged on the blockchain, and it can never be changed or removed, or nobody can ever say that Justin did not create this particular thing. And so then when that's logged on the blockchain, which is a trustable source that can't be faked and that people can have complete trust in, then all of a sudden that opens up a whole new world of possibilities outside of these games. And I can trade my axe now for somebody else. If the time, energy, and effort is equivalent to, say, $20 in the game or $100 in the game, well, I can change that and exchange that value to somebody else, maybe outside of the game, trade it for somebody's car that they built in another game, or just sell it, or just rent it out, or loan it to somebody, or there's a lot of possibility that can happen. And so that's going to open up a lot of doors. It's going to make things really exciting. That's the world that we're moving into. I'll be talking more about that concept and idea going forward as I learn more about it and kind of get on board. What I can tell you is that technology is rapidly changing. The skills and the technologies that I learned getting involved in, I build businesses on the internet. I build, web pages and funnels and, things like that. I build them on, I build them on technology that I learned a few years ago. Well, that technology is not the technology of the future. So I'm learning new technology. I'm learning about new technology and thinking ahead. And we're getting to the time where when I learn the next thing, it's probably not going to be long before it goes out of style and the next thing comes into play, because we're in a period of time where we're just working out the bugs, right? We're very early on in this game, in this stage of life. And so, technology is rapidly moving and things are going to change. So just watch for it, look at the companies and the projects and the ones that have cryptocurrencies attached to them, and and look at the ones that are playing with this technology and utilizing it and really tapping into to that side of things. And so that's just what I wanted to say about that. The next thing and final thing that I wanted to really chat about on today's call is I wanted to poo-poo on EOS for a little bit. Actually, that's not true. I don't want to poo-poo on. This isn't really me about poo-pooing on EOS, but it's about just me being aware of what's in the headlines of EOS. Now, I'll be completely transparent. I have not dug into this topic. I don't know the extent or the specifics of what all is going wrong. What I do know is a lot of the news channels and a lot of the people that I follow that report on what's going on in the crypto world, in the threads that I use, that I read, and in the chats that I'm a part of, what I'm seeing is not good for EOS. It's a lot of people talking a lot of shit about EOS. It's kind of not doing what it was promised that it was going to do. It's turning out that you know, a lot of people are saying it's just a big hype machine. You know, it's just a bunch of big hype. And when you really look at it at the core, and you look at it comparatively to something like Ethereum, the developer network is really what matters. Because if you don't have a lot of people that are excited about developing this thing in this platform or using it, then it's not going to be sustainable, because the code's going to go out of date. It's not going to be, you know, constantly updated, and you know, you got to have that core developer network. A lot of people that are excited about the project and working on it and supportive of it. You have that with Ethereum. You don't have that so much with EOS. There's some people, but not anywhere near the development network size of something like an EOS or some of the other projects that are out there. So that's a big concern. Now, I've personally talked about EOS in the past a few times in episodes, and you guys know from those calls I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan for several reasons. These two that I just mentioned are two more recent reasons, because there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to dive in and find out, you know, what is actually going on with the problems and issues and what other people are saying. But if you just look at the headlines, like I'm just reading the headlines of the people's videos and articles and blogs and chats that I follow, and they're all negative news about EOS. And so I'm not a fan. I sold all of mine a while back. I announced it here on the show when I did so. And I did that for many reasons. Number one, well, another reason is it has a centralized nature. All right. It's very, very centralized. What does that mean? Well, 21 people. They have these things called block producers, and what that means is 21 people can be block producers, no more, no less. And so these 21 block producers, they have all the power, and all that has to happen is 2/3 of them have to agree. And so that's, you know, maybe what, 15 people? If 15 people can come together to an agreement and say, you know what? There's $4 billion that we raised in this EOS worth of Ethereum that we raised. So what if 15 of us come together and we just agree that we shut down EOS, we trash it, we kill it, and here's how we go about doing it. And they put together a strategic plan to kill it, drag it out, kill it, and get all of it. I mean, they can literally shut it off and hack, you know, all of the Ethereum and and everybody could lose their tokens. If 15 people came together, they have enough power to do that. They would then have all of the power. That to me is concerning for multiple reasons. And it's also like, I mean, that's $40 billion worth of Ethereum that essentially, or $4 billion, not 40 billion. That's not true. But $4 billion worth of Ethereum is a lot of Ethereum. And think about this. EOS, and Ethereum are direct competitors, essentially. So if EOS fails, who benefits? What coin is going to go up in value? Ethereum. It's going to go way up because everybody's going to go to there because it's the next, I mean, it's the other one. It's the competition. And so then imagine this. If you had $4 billion worth of Ethereum, because you own block one or and have all of Ethereum from the EOS ICO. Well, and then you kill and you distribute that between 15 people because you steal it from everybody. That's a lot of Ethereum for each person. And then if you kill EOS and the value of Ethereum skyrockets, well, that 4 billion goes to who knows how much. So this is a out there type of scenario, but it's not unrealistic, not at all. It just takes 15 people to agree. That's it. And if 15 people come together and agree and plan, then they have all of the power and we can do nothing about it. So that to me is very concerning. That's one of the reasons that I decided to sell and get rid of all of my EOS because of the centralized nature. All right. Let's see. Block one, I talked about. So we talked about block one in the past. They are the ones that essentially own all of the Ethereum and they are owned by Rock Pearson friends and people that if you do just a little bit of research, an hour's worth, you'll find some not so nice things about these guys. You'll find out that they're flat out criminals in a bad way. Like they're into some really terrible stuff, you know, child sex trafficking type of stuff. And these are the guys that own Block One and own all of the Ethereum. And own, and several of them, like Brock Pierce is a block, and his wife is a block producer. Another one of the companies that he owns is a block producer, and so like I can kind of see what's going on and see how things are playing out, and it just looks too fishy for me. I'm not a fan of what's going on. So they're just not good dudes. I mean, the people involved are sketchy and. That's my take. This is not a bash EOS or PooPoo on EOS video. It's just me kind of putting the pieces together and sharing with you my thoughts on it. So if you are a holder of EOS, then that's fine. Much love to you. But I'm just saying that's something that I reconsidered and just putting it out there so you know as well. Not advice, not investment advice, not business advice. I don't care what you do, just telling you what I do so that hopefully if I am correct on this stuff that you're not one that gets hurt. All right. So with that being said, let's give away some free Litecoin. I give away $10 worth of free Litecoin to anybody that wants it. And all you got to do to claim it is just simply, there's a link in the description that explains the whole process of this YouTube video. So you'll need to click find this video on YouTube, just the Creative Crypto YouTube channel. And then you might be watching this on YouTube. Just underneath it in the description, there's a link to another video that I did, and that explains how you get some free Litecoin. I have a wallet downloaded on my phone. It's got some free Litecoin that I put on it, and I'll give $10 in free Litecoin to anybody that asks. There's a couple of requirements or rules. Number one is you cannot previously own Litecoin. If you already hold Litecoin, then I'm not going to give you some more. The whole idea of me sharing this is to get new people paying attention to the price of Litecoin. And if I give away $10 here and there to those people, then guess what's going to happen? They're going to be watching the price, and when they see that price go up, they're going to want to buy more. And then I'm a holder and believer of Litecoin, and so guess what happens when they go and they buy more? More money goes into Litecoin, the price goes up. So I benefit. So if you already own and hold Litecoin, you can also benefit by just simply sharing this to people that don't own Litecoin and say, hey, go follow these instructions and get yourself $10 in free Litecoin. It's just given away. It's literally free money. And who knows what it'll be worth tomorrow or the next day or next month or next year. So $10, follow the instructions below. You will need a code word. Whenever you follow the instructions in the video, you're going to need to send me an email with a link to your wallet ID so that I can actually know where to send the $2 in Litecoin to. When you send me that email in the subject line, I need you to type the code word. And today's code word is, what's today's code word? Refugee. All right, refugee is the code word. And all you got to do is just download the Loaf wallet or any Litecoin wallets. Send your info to me. via email, and I will send you some Litecoin. So that is it for today. We're going to go ahead and wrap up the show. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will not, I know that I just came back, but I will not be having a show tomorrow on Thursday. No show on Thursday. I'll be back on Friday. This week is just a funny week with travel. And tomorrow, since I have been gone for the last few days, tomorrow I'm spending this time in the morning time hanging out with my daughter, whom I have not seen in 5 or 6 days because I've been traveling. So I got to have some time with her, get my fix, and that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. So I will not be doing the show. However, I'll be back on Friday. So thanks so much. I appreciate you for watching. We'll see you on Friday. Take care.